Hello guys, so this is Naveen here, and today I just wanted to speak about the photography aspects of the Panasonic Lumix GH5. And yes, I was using the Sony Alpha 6500, which had some amazing dynamic range for the sensor size. It was an APS-C sensor. I was getting some amazing and crisp shots out of that camera when I mount the Sigma 18 to 35mm with the MC11 adapter. So those days are gone. I've sold off my Alpha 6500. Right now I just use the Panasonic Lumix GH5. So I was just searching to which lens I could get to use it for photography purpose, and while I was searching I came across a lot of options, and finally I was able to get some good uh, portrait lenses which were basically designed by Panasonic itself. So let's review them and see if they are really worth, and also do some photo samples and as well as some video samples out of them, and then conclude if they are really worth that 150 and $320 worth or not. So speaking about the first lens, this is the Lumix 25mm f1.7 lens. This is the cheapest micro four third lens that you can get as of today. So it just costed me about $140. It's still on Amazon for 140 or $150. Pretty good for the price, and the the whole appearance of the lens is very small, so it goes in very cool with the mirrorless cameras, that is the GH5 or GH4 or whatever, Olympus and anything. But yeah, so it is very small, comes in very handy, and apart from being small, it also gives you amazing crisp photo samples. So let's speak about the outer appearance. This is fully made up of plastic, and the filter size of this is actually 46 millimeters. So if you see that written there, so that's 46 millimeter. And apart from that, the lens back is made up of metal, so the mounting plate is actually made up of metal. So that's pretty good, because for the price point of $150, I don't think anyone will be including that, in this era of photography, compactness and the priceness. So yes, this is fully made up of plastic, and the only thing which is made up of metal is this, the mounting plate. So that is the appearance of this lens. It's pretty small, almost equal to the 50 millimeter Canon version. Pretty good. So this is the build side of appearance, and pretty small. Yeah, nothing much to speak about. So let me just put it aside. Let's bring in the other bad boy, that is 42.5 f1.7 lens, again from Panasonic. So this is merely the sharpest lens that you can get. Not the sharpest, I mean to say, but for the price point, I think it's pretty much okay. It is also f1.7. The focal length is 42.5 mm, so that basically translates to 80 millimeter on the Panasonic, 85 millimeter, sorry, the 85 millimeter on the Panasonic Lumix GH5 or any micro four third sensor. So let's see the outer appearance, and let's get into the next point. So the filter size is actually 37 millimeter. So if you see there, it's 37 millimeter, and this is also made up of the back side, or the mounting plate is fully made up of metal. And the other good benefit comparing both is that this lens, the 25 millimeter, doesn't have the in-body stabilization, because it's just like $140. Why would they give you that option? And this is like $300, so they give that option of image stabilization inbuilt to the lens. So this is purely made up of metal. Yes, so the outer exterior is fully made up of metal. For the price point of $300, I think it's worth for Panasonic to give the lenses which are actually fully made up of metal. So I think it's pretty good, solid weighted, and yeah, amazing. So let me just put it aside, and let's get into the video for which we are here today. That is the photo samples and as well as video. Yep, I'll just switch the lens and just come back and continue this video. Right now we are recording or basically seeing the video on the 25mm f1.7 lens, which is recording at the cinema 4K MP4 format, 24 frames per second, 8-bit. And let's start off with the video, and we'll move into the aspects of photo samples and checking the sharpness. So we have placed this object in front of the lens, and basically we'll try to see how well the autofocus works. So we'll just move them away. Let's see if the autofocus changes back. Yes, that's pretty cool. And let me just introduce it back. Okay, I think it may not come back pretty soon, but let's do this. Yes, after we do some little bit of changes on the object, it's actually focusing it back. So probably it's just based on the movement, and I don't know, because it's contrast based, so I think it should actually detect this object though I move it, further back. So that's okay. And let me just try to bring some smaller object and see if it focuses it back very quickly as we expected. So it's actually now focusing on the laptop. Let me just bring this and see if it catches it. Still doesn't catch up, so probably it's the same issue again. Just go back. Oops. Oh, finally. So yeah, in regards to the continuous autofocus, probably it's just hunting a little bit. It's a version 2 of the firmware on the GH5. I don't know, maybe it's due to the lens, or I don't know exactly, but okay, that's pretty fine. But the image is looking much crisp and sharp. If you just check, the previous video was actually recorded in the vlog version of the GH5 with the Metabone Speed Booster XL adapter. So this is directly from a default lens, so the image is much sharper. I don't know how it looks at the finally, but that was it. That was the autofocus test of this lens. Now let's switch the lens from this to the 42.5mm lens, and let's see how the autofocus works there. Okay, so I've just taken my tripod a little bit backwards so that the lens can actually focus, because this is a 42.5mm, so the minimum focusing distance is a little bit farther for this lens. So right now I didn't do anything. I just turned on the recording, and it started the focusing on the box. So let me just move the box away, and let's see if the autofocus changes it back to the monitor. Okay, finally it was able to. Let me just introduce it back. We're still trying to hunt for that, and let's do the same thing again. Just brought it out of the frame. Let me introduce it back. Okay, it doesn't like, at least. Okay, still hunting. Just move it back. Still no progress. That's pretty bad. Let me just do this. Just moving the object so many times. Let me just bring it into the frame completely. Let's see if it focuses here. Nope. Still doesn't want this. Let's take it back. It's actually pretty much at the same location where it started the recording with, and it doesn't even like to change the focus. Oops. I think it's hunting, but I don't know. Okay, finally we were able to get it. I don't know if it was due to due to the the minimum focusing distance, but it was at the same location. So let me just mark it down, and I'll bring the object back again to the same place. Let's see if it focuses back there. I'll just move it here. Let's see if the lens actually changes itself to the object. Let me just bring it out completely. Yes. Okay, we are out of the frame. Let me just bring it back. Okay, let's introduce it back there. Now it's at minimum. It's the same distance, so that was pretty good. So I think the previous samples were due to the minimum focusing distance coming into picture. Let me just move it out again for the final time, and let's see if it focuses back there. Yep, that was pretty much good. Let's introduce it back. And yes, so yeah, the autofocus on the continuous autofocus mode is pretty good on this lens. Just works fine, but it is not so fast as the Sony or the Canon, but it still does the work because it's doing a cinema 4K, high processing power on the processor, so maybe it will be slow, but yes, it is good on this as well. So now let's get into the photo samples of both these lenses together. We'll see how it is. So right now we have just seen a photo sample with the 25mm f1.7. Let's crop it in. I'm able to read the words, but they're not much sharper. Let's take another photo with the same setup. This all things are being taken in the auto settings, and this is another sample photo. Let's crop in again and see. Yes, the words are visible, but they are not much as sharp. Let's go with the other lens right now, the 45mm lens, and let's take a photo and just crop it in again and see if we are able to see the words. This is much better comparing to what the 25mm was. Let's take another photo and see the results, and just crop in and see. Yes, so it's pretty much sharper than what we're seeing on the 25mm, so this is a pure winner. So now as we are done indoor, let's go outdoor and just take a few video samples with this two lenses, and with the natural light it's almost like 5 or 435 440 here in Seattle. So let's go out. It's pretty much not so dark as well. Let's take some video samples and we'll come in and see how well it is. So based on all of this video test and the photo samples that I've taken, I think the 42.5 mm lens is much sharper and has a pretty good benefits. It has the in-body stabilization that adds in very good when you use it on a camera like the GH5, and the image itself is much sharper and the video is also much sharper, whereas the 25 mm f1.7 is pretty affordable for the price, for the benefits it gives back to us, but unfortunately it suffers with chromatic aberration and the picture quality is also not sharp as we have seen. So with that, I would just like to end this video, guys. I hope you have liked this video comparison with being the 42.5 mm and the 25 mm f1.7 lenses from Panasonic. And yes, this is it for now. Just take care and hope to see you again sometime in future. Bye bye.